We are going to create videos for you guys to see how it really goes with this Louisiana Believes curriculum good stuff thing over here. So, if this takes a long time, we might go down a little bit. If it doesn't, it's going to be just fine for you. So, number one, which equation is true? Well, here's just an answer of negatives. If I go through and I see that this negative is going to distribute like this number here is a positive, and so I've got a negative of a positive, which means negative number. That's positive, therefore that is not true. Here, that makes a positive number. This makes a negative number. Not true. Here, I've got a negative on the inside, and I'm taking the opposite of the negative, which is a positive. That one looks pretty good. Over here, this is a negative number here, but it's the opposite of that, so that is a positive number. Therefore, that one doesn't work, and we're left with just having C as our answer. Sorry as I organize things to make it a little bit easier on ourselves. Yvonne uses 5 tablespoons of butter for recipe. For a second recipe, she uses 10% less. I'm going to calibrate. I apologize for those people. Alright, so Yvonne uses 10%, uses 5 tablespoons of butter for a second recipe. She uses 10% less. So those are important things. We're going to write those down. Then she for the first recipe, the amount of butter in tablespoons she used for both recipes, found using the expression below. So I've got this expression here. Which expression we use to find the amount of butter in tablespoons? So we're trying to find equivalent expressions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 plus 5. Sorry, I can't do that first. I'm going to do this. So I've got 5 plus 5 minus 50%. Now I'm just dealing with PEMDAS, so I can go 5 plus 5 is 10 minus 50%, and I see that that answer is right there. Current temperature is -7 degrees Celsius. The high yesterday was as many degrees above 0 degrees Celsius as the current temperature is below. So what that means, if I'm on a number line, if I was down here at -7, the high yesterday was as many above, so it's going to be absolute value here is 7. It's going to be up at 7. Which expression we use to find the number of degrees between the current temperature and yesterday? Well, it's this distance here that I'm looking for. So I've got 7 and 7, a total of 14. An expression that gives me a total of 14. And that one gives me a total of 14. Michael paid a total of $48 for 4 pizzas. So we've got, and that's not for that. He used a coupon for $4 off the entire order. The equation can be used to determine the regular price of 1 pizza P. So regular price of 1 pizza, let's do some train checks here. So plus 4, 4P equals 52 divided by 4 divided by 4, P equals 13. Diana has a coupon for $C off each box of crackers. Diana bought 2 boxes of crackers for $4.50 minus $C each. She also bought 8 cans of soup for $S each. Total amount in dollars she spent on the canned soup is represented by the equation below, right here. Which expression can also represent the total amount in dollars she spent? Well, we're going to do some distributive property here. I'm going to take this 2, I'm going to distribute it to the inside. So 2 times 450 is 9. minus 2 times c is 2c plus 8s. And what do you know? That is the equation we get right there. So use diagram below. Answer the questions. What shape best represents the two-dimensional shape formed by the slice made by the plane to the vertices of the cube shown? Well, if you look at the shape that's cutting through here, right? That is a rectangle. We're actually going to see a rectangle through here, and because this shape is a cube, because this shape is currently a cube, we're going to see the distance from right here to here, that is going to be greater than the two legs. It's the hypotenuse, which gives that D is my final answer for this one. Some people might choose C because they see it's going to be a rectangle, but again, the leg here and the leg here, that's a 90-degree angle on top. Again, Pythagorean theorem, we talked about this a little bit, means the hypotenuse is going to be greater, means that D is correct for this one. Now you'll survey 50 students in our town to find out what their favorite summertime activity is. Which group would likely give the best representation for her survey? So if we're talking about in her town, I would imagine that not everyone's going to be at a library. Not everyone's going to be, well, a school is a pretty good representation because it's a pretty good mix of things. I know definitely people that don't like malls. This is all a reasoning question. Okay, not everyone is taking swimming lessons. Not everyone is at the library. Not everyone goes to the mall. But every one of our students needs to go to school. Therefore, B is my correct answer on this one. Tracy has $35 to buy comic books and to pay for a movie ticket. Each comic book costs $3. The movie ticket costs $10. Which inequality is to determine how many comic books B Tracy can buy? Well, I'm going to go ahead and write down this information. So comic book is $3. We're going to represent that by B. Movie tickets cost $10. How many comic books are, because it's only talking about one movie ticket, then this is going to be that y-intercept, or that starting cost. So I know it's going to be plus 10. I know that something is going to be working with 35. And it's got to be less than or equal to 35. I can't go over $35. And then I know that I've got 3B. So give me that. So I've got $3 times the number of comic books plus the $10 that she spent on the movie has to be, has to be less than or equal to the $35. Now the thing about this is that this equation that I have here is not up here. So I need to do some train tracks to rearrange it. Now the way that we're going to do that is we're just going to solve for either 10 or 3b. We might have to do both. So if I am solving for 10, I'm going to subtract 3b from both sides. So now I get 35 minus 3b is greater than or equal to 10. Well, hey, what do you know? That one's up there. That's nifty. Let's see if we solve for 3b what we get. So we get 35 If instead of doing this, we subtract 10 from both sides, minus 10 is greater than or equal to 3b. This gives me 25 is greater than or equal to 3b. We divide by 3, we divide by 3. That gives us b over here. Or wait, rather, excuse me, they divided by b. I need to actually divide the whole thing by b, so I would get 25 over b is greater than or equal to 3. That is not up there, therefore b is the correct answer here. Use number line below to answer the questions. Which number is 4 units from -1? Well, hopefully we don't need to count this, but if we do, we go -1. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I started here. Well, -5, not an option. Therefore, 3 is my only option that we can choose here. A rule of 40 quarters weighs 8 ounces. Which proportion we use to find the weight in ounces of 200 quarters? Well, if I have 200Q is blank ounces, and then I want 40Q is 8 ounces. I mean, I should be able to look for some rearrangement of this. Do I have 40 over 8? I do. Do I have equals 20 over something? I do. Oh, they use W, excuse me. So I see that this one works. Could I go 40 over W and 8 over 200? Can I figure that out? Well, I would be thinking about how is 40 go into 8? So 40 times what is going to give me 8? And why would I do that? That seems redundant. For the other ones, if I go 40 divided by 200 is equal to W divided by 8. The thing about this one is that notice how the 40, the smaller number, is on the numerator, that's the denominator. Here, the smaller number, the value that goes with the 40 and the 8 is the denominator. That one doesn't work. And then D, they're just trying to put in a bunch of variables to make your life more challenging for this one. So we get A is our correct answer. Brianna biked 2.82 miles on Monday, 3.75 on Wednesday, and 2.13 on Friday. Brianna estimated the total distance she biked. Which statement correctly compares an estimate of the total distance with the exact total distance that Brianna biked? Well, we need to find the exact, so if I add all three of those together, then I got 2.82, 3.75, 2.13. Add it together, that gives me a 0, carry the 1, 15, 17, carry the 1, 2, 4, 4s. So she biked 8.75 miles in exact. If I estimate these things, I'm going to estimate this to be about 3, about 4, and about 2. So let's see if those estimates are here. Well, I've got the estimate of 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 2. So I'm going to go with those two are probably the most likely it's going to happen. So 3 plus 4 plus 2 gives me 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So my estimate of 9 is greater than the actual value. So the estimate of this is greater than the exact value, but is within 1 mile, and we get D as my final answer. Donna fed 1/11 of the chickens at a farm, which decimal is equal to the fraction of chickens that Donna fed. Well, I mean, we can just start by saying that this is 1/11, very close to 1/10, which means that these two, which are both being said as close to 1/100th, can automatically be knocked out. And then you just doing some simple math of 1 divided by 11. Well, can I do this? This place is right there. As I go through and I do this, I get a 0, I get a 9, I get a 0, I get a 9. When I've done that far, then I can see that A is the one that we are looking to make work here. That's how you like it. The Malika will randomly select the letters A from a group of letters. Could Malika be selecting? Well, I'm just looking for the one that has the most A's in proportion to everything else. Here it's 1 out of 5, there's A's. Here it's 2 out of 5, there's A's. Here there's 3 out of 6. Here there's 4 out of 6. Obviously the one with 4 out of 6 is going to be more likely that she selects an A. So we choose that one. Box of sunflower seeds contains P packets. Each packet of sunflower seeds contains S seeds. Which equation we use to find the number of sunflower seeds in a box? What we're going to do is, if I've got packets and I've got seeds together, I want to find out, well, let's see how many seeds are in this. Okay, how many sunflower seeds are in a box? Packets times seeds, how many are going to be in a box. So we're going to look for if I can see that. I see that the box right here. The only two that make sense are these two, because the only one that's solving for box. These are solving for packets. I don't need to find that. Instead, I want to use these two. Doesn't make any sense to divide packets by the number of seeds. I'm going to multiply that to figure that out. As we go on down. Ariana's playing a game. For each of her turns, she rolls a number cube labeled with the numbers 1 through 6. She also spins the spinner shown below. To win the game, Ariana needs to roll a 3 and spin a 3 on her next turn. What's the probability that Ariana will win the game on her next turn? Well, the probability that she rolls a 3 is 1 out of 6. 6 sides, 1, 3, 1 out of 6. When I see this word and, I'm actually going to multiply these. And the probability of getting a 3 is 1 1/3. So that means that I'm going to get 1 out of 18. You could have also done an area model where I've got 6 dice, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I split it up. And so this is a 1, 2, and 3. There are 18 squares here. This is the only one that wins it, so 1 out of 18 right there. The school designed 2 parking lots. The design for the first parking lot is shown below. The second parking lot is being designed so its perimeter is 3/4 the perimeter of the first parking lot. The perimeter of the second parking lot can be represented by the expression of that. Which other one represents the expression of the perimeter? Well, I mean, first off, they're just trying to trick you with all these fractions, numbers, and variables. So let's take them out of the equation so I don't have to worry about it. So if I go through and I distribute this 2 here and the 2 there, when I do it the first one, I get 4 plus 8k. That's all still in this giant parentheses here. Plus 6 plus 2 times 3 halves is 3k, and then we're taking 3/4 of that. Within my parentheses, then I can even combine like terms. So now I've got 4 and 6 is 10, plus 8 plus 3 is 11k. Well, now we're still not quite there yet. So now I can actually distribute this 3/4 in here. And so I've got 3/4 times 10 is 30/4. So for the other one, 3/4 times 11k is 33/4k. And we come over to this board here. They still don't have this yet, but if I reduce this down, I get 15 halves plus 33/4k, which gives me the expression of A, and I'm moving onward. Which situation will be modeled by the expression of -3/4 times -6? Zach O's. Anytime I see O's, it's going to tell me that's probably going to be some negative number, so that's a good sign there. of the original price of his car. Each month he pays 2/5 of the original price. How many months will it take Zach to pay off his car? Zach owes 3/4 of the original price. Each month he pays 2/5 of how much he still owes. What fraction of the original price? Abdi, that's an awesome name, owes Kim 3/4 of a dollar. He needs to borrow more money from Kim. Abdi then borrows 2/5 of how much he owes. And Abdi owes Kim 3/4 of a dollar. He pays her 2/5 of how much he owes. What fraction of a dollar does Kim receive? Well, let's just go through and let's find out what this actually be. So negative 3/4 times 2/5. Multiply our numerators, I get 6. Multiply our denominators, I get 20. And so my answer is negative 6/20. That's what we're looking for. Which means I need to figure out which of these is going to give me negative 6/20. Excuse me while I take a drink real quick. So, sorry, I'm back now. Zach owes 3/4 the original. Each month he pays 2/5 of the original price. So, if I think about what I'm looking for here is that this 2/5 is of the original, so it's not going to be of the 3/4 that he owes. Of, right here, this is another word for multiply, so I'm going to look for that in here. So, when I'm going to be multiplying or taking 2/5 of this negative 3/4. So it's got to be 2/5 of what he owes. So Zach owes 3/4 the original price. Okay, so that's negative 3/4. Each month he pays 2/5 of that negative 3/4. So that kind of works out. Let's see what the other ones do. Owes Kim 3/4 of a dollar. He needs to borrow more money from Kim. Abdi then borrows 2/5 of how much he owes. By what fraction of a dollar does the amount Abdi owes Kim change? So this is now talking about what fraction is changing. That's not going to work. Abdi owes Kim 3/4 of a dollar. He pays her 2/5 of how much he owes. What fraction of the dollar does Kim receive from Abdi? Well, that one looks kind of good too. Oh wait, no. What fraction of a dollar does Kim receive from Abdi? So we're between these two. Because we're talking about of a dollar, right, then that's going to be talking about of 1, so I could have multiplied this by 1. So we're going to go with D over B, because this is over the original price of the car. That could be any value. This is talking about just $1, so we're good for that one. Angles F and G are complementary angles. When you think about complementary, they add to 90 degrees. Supplementary adds to 180. The way that I remember that, C comes before S, therefore it's 90. S is the 180 because it's more. What is the smallest possible measure of angle H? So we're going to see that F plus G equals 90. And I know that G plus H is 180. Well, we got to do some algebra here. Now I'm going to figure out how do I substitute this G into there. In order to do that, I need to subtract H from both sides. So that gives me that G is equal to 180 minus H. So I'm going to put this value right here. So now I've got F plus 180 minus H is equal to 90. What's the smallest possible measure of angle H? Actually, don't do that. There's a much easier way. So again, these add up to 90, these add up to 180, which means that when I do this, right, I want h to be as small as possible, which means that I want it to be, as close to 1 as possible. That's great. The thing is that if I go over here, okay, and I'm adding these two angles, I want g to be as big as possible, so when it goes in here, that it means h can be smaller. So, since these are complementary, together f plus g can't be any bigger than 90 or equals 90. I want g to be as gosh darn close to 90 as possible. So if we put it at 89, that's perfect. Then I can put that 89 plus h here, which means that h can be 91 degrees. Again, it's looking for that smallest possible measurement. That's going to give that to me there. Chico is saving for new shoes. By the way, I'm through 19 problems in 20 minutes. So about a problem a minute. Pretty good click. Chico is saving for new shoes that cost $87. He already has $9 saved. He will save the same amount each week. He must buy the new shoes in 6 weeks. Blah, blah, blah. The inequality can be used to determine X. What's the least amount Chico can save each week and still buy the new shoes? We're just going to solve this via train tracks. 9 plus 6x is greater than or equal to 87. We solve inequalities the same way we do train tracks. Minus 9, 6x greater than or equal to 78. Divided by 6, divided by 6. X equal to $13 per week. Congratulations, Chico. Buy your new shoes. Whoops. In a game, Janisa, that's a fun name. Started with 0 points. She earned 50 points. So I'm just going to write over here. She earned 50 points. Good for her. And she lost 80 points. Good for her. And then she earned 10 more points. Whichever line shows Janice's ending score in the game. Well, let's solve for these. 50 minus 80 is negative 30 plus 10, negative 20. Can I find negative 20 on my number line? Each increment is worth 10. That's negative 40. That doesn't work. Hey, look, negative 20. Hey, look, positive 20. That doesn't work. And then some crap number over here. We'll move on. Which situation can be represented by the equation y equals 8x? Is it going to tell me when that goes away? I've got a constant rate of 8. So she bought X items at a store. Each item cost or has a constant rate of $8. She spent a total of Y dollars at the store. Well, that's good. Let's make sure the rest of them don't. She baked a Y batch of cookies. There are 8 cookies in each batch. Now they baked a total of X cookies. Total, that means that X is by itself. We don't like that one. Correctly answered X questions on a quiz. Each question was worth Y points. Total of 8 points. Again, total of 8 points. We don't like that. Earned $8 for babysitting. She also earned X dollars for mowing lawns. Total of Y dollars for babysitting and mowing lawns. This would be X plus 8 equals Y. No me gusta. These was A. Tamara trying to determine if a greeting card maximizes the area of her photo. The photo on the greeting card is 2 1/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Tamara estimated the area of the photo. Which statement correctly compares the estimated area and the exact area of the photo? Well, let's find the exact area first. 2 1/4 plus 3 3/4 gives me an exact area. Ooh, excuse me. Nope. We're going to go 2 1/4. We're going to change that to an improper fraction. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9/4. 3 times, change this one now into an improper fraction. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15/4. When we go through and we multiply those together, we get 9 times 10 is 90, 9 times 5 is 45, we get 135 fourths, and if I then simplify that so it's a little bit easier for me to work with, then 4 goes into 13 3 times with 1 left over, so we got 15, 4 goes into 15 3 times with 3 and 3/4. So that's the exact value we're looking with here. If I estimate these, this is going to be 2, this is going to be 4. So I'm looking for, that's not right. What did I do wrong here? How did I multiply that wrong? Oh, because I didn't multiply the denominators. See, even Mr. Fair messes up. 4 times 4 is 16, so I've got 135 over 16, which reduces down to 16 goes into 135. Let's see here. 8 times. 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 6 is 48. 80 plus 48 is 128, which means that there's 7/16 left over. That's the exact value. If I multiply this estimate 2 by the estimate 4, I'm going to get 8. So the exact value is greater than the estimate. Well, I'm already going to get rid of these two because they've got the wrong dimensions, so I'm not caring about that. So 2 times 4 is this 8 larger or less than? It is smaller than the exact value, therefore we get B as my answer. I'm going to stop right now and start another video later on. I've got 22 problems out of the 60 that we're working with in 25 minutes. This is just fine for you over spring break. I'm actually not going to complete the rest of this. If you have any questions, please shoot me an Edmodo message, and I hope you have a great break.